Welcome to another Self-Love Sunday. I'm your host, Namibia, on this self-love journey. This is the podcast where we talk about love, healing, self-care, and information for inspiration. Before we get started, please like, share, and subscribe to the Self-Love Journey with Namibia YouTube channel and join us on Facebook in the group Self-Love Sundays. Let's get started. So, we are here in the self-love journey. Yeah. I just want to tell you a little bit before we get started about my podcast voice.
Okay.
So, I am on a self-love journey. Well, been on the journey, but recognizing this and going through a transformation. I had a horrible breakup, and then I realized that it wasn't horrible. You know, I'm embracing it now, and the growth that's happening out of that. And so I said, you know what? I started posting things online, and I posted me with this children's book that said, I am enough. And about 400 people responded saying, yeah, I'm enough too. I'm worthy of this. Like, wow, this is resonating with people. So I had this big idea. This was in January. In February, because it's the first time in a long time that I had Valentine's Day and I was just by myself.
These Hallmark holidays, you getting this.
I said, so I'm going to love on myself. And I said, there's other people out there. So guess what? I'm going to do 4 episodes of a podcast. Self-Love Journey.
I love it.
On Sundays at 7. And now we're approaching episode 15.
I remember watching this evolve. It was about the same time that I did my Galentine's Day 3-day journey with
Yeah, because you were telling me about the frame. It's like, sister, if you turn it this way.
Yeah, I was like, because then it'll be in the hole. So that's the thing. Everybody should be teaching instead of being like, oh, I'm not going to tell her anything, right? But that comes from, again, that type of energy comes from a lack of self-love. Because if you loved yourself, you would want everybody around you to win.
That's right.
Everybody.
That's right.
So I remember watching that evolve, and I was like, okay. I remember peeking at it, and I was like, dang, she got it on Sundays when I'm at yoga, and Sunday is my self-ish love day.
Right.
So that's where I am. It may be perceived to be selfish, how you see it, but it's self-ish, which just means being about yourself. Right. And self-preservation over everything and anyone really isn't selfish. It's necessary at this point, and it's irresponsible if you're putting people before yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's all in alignment. And I am like, the world is, everything is like opening up. Now that I take time for myself and I actually say no to people.
Isn't no fun? How's it been since you started?
You should get a shirt.
Isn't no fun?
I'll get that from you. Isn't no fun? Saying no fun.
Isn't it? How about how have you experienced people reacting to you that you used to say yes to everything and now you're saying no? How's that feel?
It hit home. One of my children. Oh, yeah, we just had a moment. We had to come to whatever moment, you know. And I think it helped me help them. Because I realized that I was becoming an enabler. And I'm doing stuff for you that you can do for yourself. And saying no, it's just, I have time to breathe. And then no without any explanation.
Yes, that's my favorite. No isn't no
complete sentence.
But this is why no. It's no.
I used to do that.
No period. It took me time too. I wasn't a no person. I used to be a people pleaser.
Yes.
That was my thing. I'd be like, oh, you need me to do that? Okay, I'll do that for you.
Right.
Oh, you need me to do that?
They
Okay,
didn't
I'll do that
ask.
for you.
Like, I will volunteer.
Yes, me too. I'm like, what do you need done? I can make a whole flyer for you in 20 minutes. And it's like, really took me an hour. And then that really took time time away from me.
Right.
And like then I didn't have space for myself.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I used to do that. Yeah.
Like I love to swim, and that's my.
Gosh, it's blocking my video, y'all.
Oh.
We gotta make sure out of the way.
Let me continue with this. So, but I love to swim, and I meditate while I swim because it's like I'm literally in my own lane unless somebody jumps in my lane, but I'm literally in my lane, going back and forth, and I'm just thinking at that time, or I might do an affirmation or say several affirmations as I'm going back and forth on these laps. And like now, I used to count my laps, but now that my watch, I don't have to count my laps. I'm just going. And so, and then listen to my breath because I use a snorkel. So that breath, and it's like a constant
breath work.
Yes. And I think it's helping me even with my lungs and everything and what's going on. But I had myself on a live with that, people watching, and then I had a friend of mine reach out and was like, yeah, can you teach someone how to swim? Sorry. No. That was it. That was it. Because normally I would, and I have, but that takes time and focus, and there are people who actually do that, that you can go to.
And pay.
Yeah. I'm not one of those people anymore. I used to be, teach classes, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm there to swim. Right. I paid my dues as far as teaching is concerned for swimming, but I just don't do that anymore.
Good for you.
And then I'm learning also to respect other people when they say no. You don't have to explain. No, okay, all right, I get it. That's fine. All right.
It's a no is a boundary, and when people aren't used to hearing no, or when you're not used to saying it, there's so many different ways that this could go. If, like, for instance, I tell somebody in my circle no that I used to say yes to, they're like, well, what do you mean no? And it's like, no, period. And they're like, but why? And it's like, I already told you why. No is why.
Exactly.
And
that's a violation.
Yeah.
Now that you're interrogating me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, as if I don't have the right to
no.
choose. And that's given to me by God. That's a God-given right. That makes us different than other species, that we have a choice. So, and then also as a parent, for me, allowing or offering that choice for my children, for them to say, okay, they say, no, all right, I understand.
Not asking for explanation.
Right.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I'm a new parent. I'm not, well, so my mom has recently transitioned, but I've stepped into the role of my younger sibling's bonus mom. So, there are things that we do on the weekend, or, there's a lot of different moving pieces now. So it's me and my brother caring for my younger sibling. And my brother already has a child, and he's like, hey, come with me to go see my baby. And my sibling is like, no. And one day he was like, but why? And I was like, you don't get to ask them that. They said no, because they don't want to go. That's why. They already told you why.
Right.
And there's an event coming up this weekend. I asked them, hey, do you want to go? No. Cool. Right. And I think that in our community, especially, it's like, oh, well, you're going to do what I tell you to do. And it's like, that comes from generational trauma. So, like, that's a whole nother thing. Like, why are we forcing our thoughts or our beliefs on these children, telling them they have to do something? Like, I get it within, a respectable boundary. Like, we're not going to, if they're like, I'm going to go do drugs, it's like, okay, no, come have a conversation with me. But as far as allowing them to choose whether they want to be around people, whether they want to hug certain people, whether they
definitely
want to, be in somebody's energy, whether they want to go to an event where other people are going to be that may not be on the same vibration, if they say no means no.
Right. Now, I am that parent that would explain ahead of time, like, what the choices are and the benefits to the choices. Because I think that when you say no, you have to you need to be informed.
Absolutely.
Not just to know because I don't feel like, but just you are informed about your choices, and now you made a decision. No, okay, so live with that. And then here's too, you made every decision that you make, every choice you make has a consequence to it. So just be aware of the choice that you make and live with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm big with that. So this is changing to something else, but this is great.
It's good. It all goes into it.
It is great. It is great because it's a funny thing too. Is I'm gonna go into relationships.
Okay.
So relationships, right? So in a long-term relationship, things break up. Then you think about a person comes around going back.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
To this said long-term relationship.
Yes.
Okay.
Going back. At first, I actually considered going back. And then my growth has not allowed me to go back because I'm not that same person.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like words hit different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I just had a birthday recently and I got a card and everything, and I was like, I was emotional, people, for all of 5 seconds. And I think I'm exaggerating when I say that. It might have been 3 seconds.
Okay.
And I was like, no, this is not even about me. It's not even about me, right? Because if it was about me, then certain actions would align. You haven't gone through that process. And if you do, that's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm moving over this way. So that was my no. At that point, my no, not accepting past treatment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not accepting people in my space that already showed me who they are.
Hello.
And have not gone through their own self-love journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So moving forward, like, I don't know what movie was that I was watching, but this is a long time ago, but she said, or a show, the sister was like, all my people are, you know, living abundantly. You know, that's why I want people like on the same path, or if not, that you're on an open mind to learn and grow, or I can learn from you. Like I'm really seeking mentorship with people who are doing it, and because I'm seeking it, like you said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appears, and that is truth. Like people are popping up. I'm like, yo, this is nice, you know, and it's just confirmation that I'm going in the right direction in this self-love journey. So yes, no is real.
No is fun. It's so fun for me. I love it. I'm like, oh, somebody just asked me something I don't want to do. No.
You know,
and it's
babies know that.
It's a thing for me. Absolutely.
Yes.
I have a beautiful friend, and like you said, you surround yourself with people that are like-minded, and in that movie it's like all my friends are abundant. So one thing about me, because I was in a long relationship as well, on and off for 7 years, and we're off right now, and it's good to be off because he's doing his thing and he's growing. I'm over here and I'm growing.
Right.
We're on 2 different vibrations. Now, what that means is my frequency might be, I don't know, 2222, because I like angel numbers.
Yes.
His frequency might be 999. Does that mean I'm superior and he's inferior? Absolutely not. It means that we're vibrating on a different level. Right. And he where he at and I'm where I'm at. And we're just not able to meet each other right now.
I get that.
Okay. But the people that I choose to surround myself with are people that I want and won't allow not to hold me accountable. So I don't have people around me that are like yesums. I don't have people that are like, oh girl, that's fly, and they know it's not. Or oh yeah, you did the right thing, and they know that I need to be checked. You know, I have a requirement.
With love.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Love. Don't they know not to bring anything else to me.
Check with love.
But in a sense of, and also check me with love, but firm love. So because my personality is so strong, I have to be surrounded by strong people where they could be like, Sharice, let me talk to you. When you said X, Y, and Z, it made me feel, or when you're doing this, like you need to acknowledge your breakdown. And it's like, whoa, thank you. I appreciate people in my circle that want me to grow, that only want the best for me. I can't be around people that are complacent and that are okay just being like, yeah, girl, just do. No, like tell me. Tell me when I tell you something that, Sharice, that's you. That ain't actually him. That's you. Go look in that mirror. It's not him, it's you.
Now, you said something, though. You said that y'all are off for now.
We're off for now. So we're off for now. I'm aware that certain people are in my life for different reasons. So I believe in twin flames. I believe in soulmates, but I don't have attachments. So I say off for now because we still talk, and that's like my best friend, and he was definitely there when my mom transitioned, just like a lot of real people were. But there were also a lot of people that I had an expectation to be that were not. Okay. Which was very difficult for me to wrap my head around initially. Right. And now I'm in the space where it's like, okay, I still don't have any expectation because that's difficult. That's a difficult situation. Right. And I don't know what everybody else is moving through. Right. So I don't take anything personal. I don't want to make any assumptions. Make sure you read the book, The 4 Agreements. I know you read it. Did you read it?
No, I didn't. I'm going to put that on the list.
Such a good book. Yeah. Do not take anything personal.
That's for the book Attachment, so.
Oh, yeah. So okay, I'm going to read that. All right. And you read The 4 Agreements, and then we're going to have a book club back here and talk about it. You really are my sister. Yes. But yeah, for now we're off, and I wanted to be single for a year anyway. So before any of these things that have transpired, everything happens for a reason, right? So last November, December, I was very adamant I wanted to live by myself. And it wasn't that you did anything wrong. I just did. I want my own space. I haven't been single forever. I've always been attached to somebody. I got a question about that. I'm going to get into it. Go ahead. Go ahead. I haven't been single or not attached to somebody in a very long time. So I wanted to experience my life as Sharice and just Sharice, not Sharice and I'm rearranging my day for I got to think about, no, I just want to think about me and not think for myself because I've always been outspoken. This is who I've always been, even as a little girl. And that leads into like a little later. I've been this way since I was a child, and the adults that raised me did the best that they could. I promise they did the best that they could with the tools that they had. Right. But they were very good at stifling me because I was, to them, too extra, too loud, too sassy. And it's like, I really truly believe in, when I was like a child, I wasn't disrespectful. I was a child. I was free, right? I was my most authentic self. Right. As long as I'm not doing anything to harm myself and anybody else, like, let me be in my fullest expression. Yes. And because the adults around me were not allowed to be in their fullest expression, they suppressed and stifled who I really truly was. Right. So back to that, I've always been outspoken. This is just who I came into this world as. But I just needed a chance to be free, and it's like everything lined up perfectly. I have my space to myself. Right. I literally have my space, my energetic, my emotional space to myself to be able to hold space for my younger sibling, to be able to take the time to really truly move through this grief process of my mom transitioning, to hold space for my younger brother. Like, everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. Like, if he was here right now, it just wouldn't be working. And I would be taking out because I have moments of anger. I have moments of, sadness, shock. I go through, I dance up and down the grief chart right now, which is normal. And people are like, oh, Sharice, don't be angry. It's like, why are you afraid of feeling your feelings? Let's talk about that. Or don't cry, it's okay. It's like, don't cry, it's okay. It's cleansing. It's interesting to, I don't know, navigate in this world. And I say it because I know I'm not of this world. It's just interesting for people to say, it's okay, don't cry. And it's like, what you mean to say is, and I know you don't have the vocabulary for it, is... You don't say that, Daddy. You said that? No. So, yes, I told my dad that. I was like, I know you don't have the vocabulary to say this, Dad. And not, so... I'm outspoken, right? Yeah. But it's not disrespectful. It doesn't. It's not like that. It's like, Dad, I know you don't have the dialogue or the vocabulary to tell me this, but what you mean to say is, and also let me backtrack a little bit. I did not understand why my father, I'll just use my father as an
Right.
example. He kept going, it's okay, don't cry. It's okay, don't cry. And he didn't want to talk to me.
His upbringing. Yeah.
And he didn't want to talk to me for a little bit afterwards. And I don't think he didn't want to. I don't think that he could.
Right.
So then at my mom's celebration, my sibling was crying. And I went and I was like, it's okay, don't cry. And I was like, ooh. I was like, no, cry. And I was like, I see what he did.
Right.
So I went back to him and I said, hey, what you really meant to say was, I see you hurting, and it hurts me to see you hurting.
Right.
And because I don't want to dive into those emotions, and I don't want to feel that sadness, I need you to stop. I don't want you to hurt, because then I'm going to hurt. So in order for you to stop, I need you to stop hurting.
Wow.
So I don't have to hurt. And I know I'm an empath, so I know my daddy's an empath. So if I cry, he wouldn't cry.
Right.
And in our society, men aren't supposed to cry. And
Right.
all those ridiculous things.
Right.
I love when a man cries. You come to me and cry, I'm holding my crystals, I'm crying with you. I'm going to ask you what is coming up for you.
But you know what? That is very difficult for men. Like, 'cause I was in a relationship, the guy cried, and it was like, console him. But I think that made him where he was just like, oh, I'm vulnerable, or like, it was too much. Like, she saw me, like, she saw me, like, I was naked, basically, and I had to think about it from that moment. It got weird after that.
But that's his subconscious wiring.
Right.
And nothing to do with you.
Yeah, well, I'm not digging in any of that. I did at one point.
Yeah, it's natural to initially take that on, like, oh, well, what did I do? When I consoled him, did I say something wrong? All the pieces, right? But that comes from subconscious wiring of not just us as a culture, but men. So we could just take it down to male and female. Like, men are strong, right? They are supposed to be able to do things that we as women are not supposed to be able to do. There's a lot of things that men do that I could do too, right? And there are things that they do that I know that I may not have the ability to do like they do. I don't walk around in my masculine too much anymore. I used to.
Oh, talk about that.
I used to.
That will wear you down.
Oh yeah, because it's an imbalance. But just like men walking around in their masculine too much will wear them down too.
Right.
They need to. They don't need to. Nobody needs to do anything. They get to embody their feminine aspect as well.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing when you find a equally yoked, if you want to call that, man, in a sense of he's in touch with his masculine, but he's also in touch with his feminine. Right now. Yes. Okay.
Let's try that. Okay. Yes.
Can we get a balance, brother?
I just figure out how to do applause in that, like.
There you go. You can just loop us doing that over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely. So I in the self-love journey, I have discovered and read more about femininity, and we talked about this in a previous episode. But I'm on it. Like, if a guy wants to help out, yeah,
absolutely. You want to hold me.
Let's go.
Open my door.
There you go.
All of that. Yes. But also, at this, we could go on a whole nother tangent. I might have to come back.
You will come back.
I might have to come back because I recently came to this realization the morning after, or the top of the day after. I don't like to say morning because morning sounds like morning. Words are powerful. But the day after my mom's celebration of life, I was laying in the bed next to my ex-partner, and we were laying there, and I was like, damn, I really want to be held right now. And I'm finding myself getting angry about it. Like, oh, why he not holding me? And I'm sitting there, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, you're on this side of the bed, and he on this side of the bed. That's why he's not holding you. And then I was like, but wait a minute. Do I even give off the energy that it is okay to hold me and touch me in this moment? Or am I so much in my masculine that I am giving him, like, he better not touch me? So then I sat there, and I was like, damn. I was like, I really just want nurturing.
Yes.
So then it went back. I like got emotional, and I was like, damn, like, you know, I always wanted to be nurtured by my mom in a certain type of way.
Right.
And I just didn't get that love and that nurture. And it's like, my mom is human, right? As adults, we get to look at our parents as they are adults. They are their own they went through their own separate shit. Like, and my mom has gone through a lot of trauma. So I'm playing it back because I see spirit, I hear all those beautiful things. And I'm watching it like a Rolodex or film, and I'm like, oh my God, I give him the energy that I don't want to be touched.
Right.
And I was like, that comes from my conditioning and my subconscious thoughts, and like, oh, I'm not weak, so I'm gonna be strong. And like, I was like, and I said it to him, and I was like, hey, do you want to hold me? And I felt like I felt like really in some part of my being, like I felt like, I kind of like gave in, and I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, what is that feeling? I was like, why do we look at it as being maybe weak or submissive? And not we, mostly me in that moment. And I was like, bro, I just want to be held. And then I explained to him my thought process. And it's like, normally that's something that I don't talk to too many people about because I go left. People are like, you saw it. And I'm like, yeah, I saw it. Projector. I'm like, spirit talks to me, I hear it, I see it, like, you know. And they're like, okay, Sharice. And I'm like, that's all right, you're just not my person, like, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not y'all gonna get all this magic from me moving forward. That's one thing that when I lost my mom, I lost my ability to care. Are we allowed to cuss? Am I allowed to cuss? I lost my ability to give a fuck when anybody thought about me. Period. That died when my mom transitioned. So I just say everything now. But I wanted to make sure that we weren't censored here. Okay.
No, it's okay. There's no censor.
Okay, good. Because I like to cuss.
And I love people who like to cuss.
I love it. The F word is my favorite.
To make up for the time when she wasn't. I want to bring it back, and I definitely want to say this. I want to give my condolences to you, you know, and a lot of times we don't know what to say, you know, and we just want our people to feel better. And then, you know, but when you have that such a grave loss, you have to feel whatever you feel. Absolutely. You know, and then when you come around, you know, hey, we're here. Absolutely. You know, but you know, just sending. I like to send words that just hug people.
And you did. Yes. You were one of them. I'm getting goosebumps. You were one of the people that sent me messages, and I was like, I could feel it. Like, again, I'm an empath, so if you sending me positive energy or negative energy, I'm feeling it. I literally, like, in my body can feel it. And you were one of the people that I felt like I was being held in that moment, and I needed that, and I really, really appreciate it. And I'm still moving through my process. Yes. I have days that I wake up and I have beautiful days. Today was a slower day for me. I woke up and I was like, ugh, I really just want my mom to visit me. So I did a yoga nidra practice, and I was like, okay, she usually comes to when I do this one. And she didn't. And I was like, where is she? And I was like, I don't have any expectation, right? She's going to visit me when I not need her, but when it's more appropriate, when the timing is right. So I just slowly did some meditative practices, took care of myself, ate a really good meal, and did the things that I knew that make me feel better. So like that's also part of my self-love practice.
That's wonderful.
You know, but I really appreciate that, because there are people that at the beginning, I took a break it's been almost 2 months. I actually just got back into my office this week, and it feels good to be back. But that was because I had a moment when she came through on Monday after doing yoga nidra, and my heart chakra, literally, I felt like it just busted open. And I was like, well, I never felt peace like this in my life. Like, this is a level of peace that I was like, okay, they might be right, I might be losing it. Like, I actually might be losing it. But then when I was sitting in it, I was like, oh, this is euphoric. This is outer body. Like, this is how I know that the things that I see and hear and experience when I'm in my astral travels are real. Like, I know my mom is guiding me each and every step of the way, and that, like, my dad was doing his best to tell me at the beginning, we don't die. We're just going on to the next
No, we don't. Energy transfers.
Absolutely.
And your loved ones, when they transition, they have to be obedient to their assignment. Their assignment it's completed here, and they gotta go on.
And you said that in a beautiful way when you messaged me, like something you literally said that, but in a different it was different vocabulary.
I prayed over my words before I sent them. Yeah, I prayed over my words that it would be received from you. Yeah, and I'm glad.
It was, and there were other people that, because we live in duality, so there were people who were like, "You need to go back to work," and I was like, "Y'all aren't processing." So I am heavy on processing and feeling my feelings, and it's not. It may be uncomfortable for some people because they're so used to going,
Right.
and they don't want to stop for a minute and feel it because it's too painful. And it's like the only way to start the healing process is to start the feeling process.
Right.
I sat for almost 2 months, and I've never been still like that in my life. I have had so many different awakenings, so many different breakdowns, and sitting in that space, and I believe that I'm truly better for it. I think, and I know if I kept going and did not process, and I'm still processing, but process the way I did initially, I don't think I would be okay right now. And like I know that about myself because I love myself, and I know my weaknesses and I know my strengths. Like I'm very self-aware, so I took that time. But yeah, I had people like, you should go back to work, and I was like, you need to process.
I like those should statements.
Yeah.
People tell you what you should or should not do. How are you gonna tell me what I should do?
My favorite thing is now, mind your damn motherfucking business. Like that's what you should do. Like, you should mind your business with light and love. Like that's another thing that's difficult for people around me now because I'm usually. I guess I give off the energy of being bubbly, right? And they're not getting that from me.
Oh, you changed.
Yeah, I've changed.
You changed.
But it's like, no, it's actually just a full embodiment of my whole self because I am my mother's child. My mom was so positive all the time. There was somebody at her celebration that said, I didn't even know your mom was sick. What do you mean she was on oxygen? And that spoke volumes to me, saying that, she didn't allow her illness to lead her. And it was like she called people to check on them when she was on oxygen, and she couldn't sit. And it's like, but my mom will cut you out. My mom was the perfect balance of fire and water. And it's like, I don't think people have experienced a lot of my fire. So when it comes out, people are like, what's that? Why you not? You all right? It's like, yeah, I'm all right. Are you all right?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
I've never been better.
Yeah.
I've never been better. That's
but
awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Let's get to your affirmations though, right?
Okay, yeah. So we're going to continue that part on a what we were going to talk about. I'm going to bring her back. But what I do is at the end of each episode, I have 3 affirmations. And I wanted you didn't know about this, but I wanted you to guide us through 3 affirmations, whatever energy the spirit brings you.
This is going to be fun.
Follow you
okay.
with the affirmations. So we're going to go into this.
Okay, so can I say something about affirmations first?
Yes, please.
Because I love affirmations, but I also think that people say affirmations thinking that is going to change their entire life, right? So I think the problem, and I don't want to say the problem, but the miscommunication or misinterpretation of our society is because we have Instagram and because we have Facebook and TikTok and all these things that you can get instant gratification from. People do not want to do the work. So affirmation is great if you're doing the work. An affirmation is, in my experience, in being, a empowerment coach and walking women through their trauma to their triumph, and watching, after years of working with health coaching clients, watching affirmations not really do it until we got to the underlying root cause. So affirmation is good, and I'll use an example. Say, like you said, I am enough, right?
Right.
If your 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, and 11-year-old self don't believe that, you're telling your, let's say, our 30-year-old selves, right? I'm just going to say 30.
40-year-old self.
Okay, yes. Okay. Come on.
50-year-old self.
No, you're not. Okay, I'm 36. I'm almost 40. No, we're not. But we are telling our adult selves, right, that we're enough. And what is happening is we are having an internal conflict, because our 3-year-old self is over in this corner, and your 3-year-old self is like, no, I'm not. I remember when X, Y, and Z told me I'm not. Your 5-year-old self is over here like, I remember that time I did this, and my mom said this, and it made them feel as if they were not enough. Your 7-year-old self is like, no, somebody actually told me I'm not enough. Your 11-year-old self is sitting in the other corner with shame, right? And subconsciously, your 11-year-old self is like, but when I did this, it made me feel like I wasn't enough. So here you got these 4 subconscious, very strong, because our subconscious mind is formed from 0, like conception.
Absolutely.
Conception to 7 or 11, depending on the demographics, where you grow up, environment, all those things. You have these 4 different layers of I'm not enough, battling this adult that's going around telling himself, I am enough. And your inner self is like, cool, I'm going to bring up situations that make you feel like you're not enough, because we know what we're doing. And I remember watching it happen on TikTok. There was like this craze with affirmations. Everybody's like, I'm just gonna say my affirmations, and I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, that's not gonna work. that's not gonna work. My subconscious mind battling my conscious mind, because your conscious mind is only responsible for 5% of your thoughts, and your subconscious mind runs like 95% of the show.
Right.
So if you are 5% as an adult, like I'm enough, that 95% loop, it's like you got to get there, get to that 3-year-old, rip it out at the 3-year-old, replace that with a new thought pattern, a positive one that. Well, it might not be I am enough. It might need to be something else, right? Whatever your soul or your spirit needs. Replace that from a subconscious level, and then go tell yourself you're enough. Now, that's not me saying like affirmations are bad. They're not. But do them, and also do like the subconscious work.
Right.
Like rip it out at the root. Because if you're feeling like, I'm telling myself this, but I'm still not feeling it, like there's some underlying deeply rooted subconscious and sometimes generational trauma attached to that thought.
Talk about that.
Attached to that thought. Generational trauma is real.
Yes.
Yes, I am the pattern interrupt in my family. I am the one that comes to be like, oh, remember this, and this? It made me feel like this. And everybody's like, we don't have to talk about that at family functions. Then I'm not coming. I'm not coming.
That's
we gonna talk about it.
Has been something cultural that we adopted from something.
Yeah.
We don't talk about things, so patterns are repeated.
Repeated over and over.
So affirmations for the self-love journey right now, from what we've talked about and saying no, the power of no and boundaries. Can you give us something? Can you guide us through some affirmations that will help us on our journey in saying no and having those boundaries?
Yes. So 3, right?
Yes.
So I would say that the first one for boundaries that's coming through for me is my no is enough. My no is enough.
Let's say that. My no is enough. That's powerful.
It is. It's making my body feel like
when I said enough right here.
Yeah.
Like, my no is enough.
My no is enough. This is another one that just came through, so I told you I'll be hearing. I love myself enough to say no.
I love myself enough to say no. That hit me in the same spot.
That's in between your throat chakra and your heart chakra.
Right.
So it's like I get to say it, but I also get to mean it from my heart. What else? Talk to me. Ooh, if it's not in alignment, I will feel it in my being.
If it's not in alignment, I will feel it in my being. If it's not in alignment, I will feel it in my being. Instead of having that back and forth tumultuous, mind conflict, it's like, just say that you want to feel it in your body. Your body's not going to lie to you. That's true.
Especially your sacral and your solar plexus is not going to lie to you. That
Because we
feeling
try to talk ourselves out of
into
things,
stuff.
into things and out of things, and just instead of just being still and feeling it.
One more thing, when it comes to affirmations, there are, and those are affirmations based on what came through. Now, say I'm sitting down with a client and I'm going to have them go through a practice of Psyche where we literally go in and rewire the subconscious mind on a thought. We would write the affirmation out together based on what they're moving through. So say somebody I'll just throw example, had sexual trauma, right? And they are ashamed of their body. So we'll have to get to the thought that they are feeling first, and we'll bring up the shame, and then I'll ask them, what do you want to feel instead?
Okay.
So it's always, when you ask yourself when you're writing your affirmations, what am I feeling right now? How do I want to feel instead?
Right.
So it's, yes.
If you're like, truly reprogramming.
Truly reprogramming. So it's like, if I don't feel enough, I want to feel like I'm enough.
Right.
So the next step is to keep it short. And I think that was beautiful that you had, I am enough. It's short.
Right.
It's quick. It is not a lot of words. Your subconscious mind, remember, 0 to 7 or 11, they don't need a lot of words.
Sometimes it's just one word. Because I find out, like, I could just say, and one of the most powerful poems, and I wish I knew the sister's name, but she did a poem of one word.
Ooh.
Love. And she repeated it over and over again with different emotions and in different intonations. And that poem just resonated. It was different. It was like love. And then like the love, like thinking that you're loving me. I heard love. And then it's like, love. It was powerful. So that's one thing that I do is affirmations with one word. Like, yeah. Love is definitely one of them.
It is. I love love.
I love love.
Peace too. Peace is another affirmation that I love, that I repeat often, because we experience different tests in life every day, and it's like, energy is real. So at the end of the day, depending on what your human design is, I'm a generator. I'm a pure generator, so I have a lot of energy to burn out through the day. But if I burn my energy that isn't meant for my purpose on negativity, like it's a different type of burning, and like I'm giving that energy away, and it's like, no, I could be putting that energy towards peace and love. But sometimes you get to live in duality, or I get to live in duality, and it's for a reason. So I like to not like bypass and be like, oh, no negativity, none of that. I'm not even dealing with that. It's like, no, that's there for a reason. Let me see what is over there. All right, let me make a choice.
Yes.
Am I giving my energy to that today? And why is it coming into my space? What about my energy is attracting that to me? Because like attracts like.
That's right.
So it's not like, oh, these people are doing something to me. Like, no, how am I showing up that they think it's okay?
I'm glad you said that. That's another conversation.
Oh, we could just keep
like attracts like.
We could just keep coming back.
Like you say, opposites attract. No, you put out the energy you put out is what comes back to you. You reflect. So if you put out that negativity and you wonder why you getting negativity around you, hey, you gotta check yourself. Like Michael Jackson told us, look in the mirror.
I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
Please, for real. In my program we do mirror work, and it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because to look at yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself and look into your soul, it is unfucking comfortable.
Yes. I need to formally introduce myself. I'm introduced the guest. I did not even introduce her.
It's okay. They know who I am now.
I'm gonna have to edit that. Please, Cherise, tell us, what do you do in that connects with self-love? Like, what do you do? Like, how do you help people, and how people can reach out to you?
Okay, so my name is my full name, but my name I go by right now is Cherise Tariva. My last name's Slownell. Y'all know my daddy. Plug.
Same last name, and they thought that he was my daddy too, but no.
Oh yeah, we're sisters. We're like real sisters because you look like us. That's why.
Got the same last name. So
But I am an empowerment coach. So I have stepped into that role within the last 2 years. When COVID hit initially, I know that people were heavy to get back outside and do all the things. And I was excited because that meant that I could go in and dive deep and do some inner work, right? And I have already been doing this work since, I want to say maybe 2008. I'm not new to this. I'm true to it.
Yes.
Right? But it started off in massage therapy, and then it transitioned to a health coach and a holistic counselor. And it's just, I organically came to walking women back to their truest, most authentic selves. I have a program, a one-on-one coaching program that runs for 13 weeks, where I literally walk you through your trauma to your triumph. And we do it together. So I am not doing the work for you.
Right.
We are working together because I believe that you're responsible for your healing. I'm a guide. I'm here to guide you because I've experienced my fair share of trauma. I've experienced my fair share of heartbreak. And I lived through some of the, I don't know, most tumultuous things that people could live through. And
you're still smiling.
And I'm still smiling. I literally turned my trauma into my triumph. It's alchemy. I rose from the ashes of my trauma. And I believe that we all have the ability to do that when you're guided properly. So yeah, I have another round starting on 7/11. Smack it in the air. Ooh. I have another round starting on 7/11. And my applications are not open yet. They don't open until June 11th. But I can be reached on my Instagram, Sharice Tareva. It's SHARICETAREVA. Or I could also be reached at hello@sharicetareva.com.
Okay.
I love this work, and I actually resisted it for a long time because I was like, oh,
Is this who you are?
I'm not doing this. I'm a massage therapist and I'm a dance instructor, and it's like, no, actually I am all of those things and none of those things at the same time. Like I am just my whole being.
That's another conversation.
It's okay. You can just have me keep coming back.
Conversation. No,
I'm feeling called to just tell y'all I'm coming back to do more installments because I don't even think we had half of the stuff on this.
We did one thing. She's looking at my notes. I'm looking at my notes. Not for the public. She's not peeking over here. No, but seriously. So I've been contemplating this, and I've decided that I'm going to do 20 episodes.
Okay.
And then that's going to be a season, and then for 10 weeks, I'm going to dive in more into the work, personal work.
Integrate. Beautiful, because most people don't integrate. I love this.
Yes.
Oh, it makes me so happy when people
But that doesn't mean that I'm stopping the self-love because it doesn't stop.
It doesn't.
Y'all can go back and look at the old episodes, and then we can have discussions. We have a private group.
Absolutely.
So we can have discussions. It'll be live, and then we'll do different things with that. We might dive into the ebooks and do all that.
Check into what she has posted. Come see the stuff that I have. I have an array of medicine that you could go through. I think that the misconception is, I hear this all the time, you're still doing the healing work. It's like, if you listen to the words healing, this is a journey that we are going to be on the entire time that we are earthside. And when you're done your healing work, you don't need to be in this vessel anymore.
Right, that's true.
There's no reason for you to be here. When you got goosebumps, child, you better talk your shit. when you are done your work, there's no reason for you to be
That's
here.
True. You finished your assignment.
You finished your assignment. Right. So this is a journey that I am on forever. So what burns me up, and I do get burned up.
I've heard about that too.
What
I heard
burns me
say
up
that.
is people
I don't deal with women who say they're healing.
Listen, then you ain't ever dealing with a whole woman, right? So the thing is, it burns me up that people are like, oh, I can heal you. And it's like, run. If somebody tells you that they can heal you, run the other fucking way. Because they don't have the concept of healing.
Right.
Healing is continuous. Now, that doesn't mean that you always have to be on your shadow side, working on your shadow. That means like you're in your light body right now, right? You're giving. So then you're going to take some time to retreat, to pour into yourself, but also integrate everything that you've learned, right?
Yes.
So then you can hit your next level,
Season
right?
2, y'all.
Season 2. So you can evolve.
Yes.
And when you come back, you're going to be a whole nother version, and you're going to talk to a whole nother set of people. Yes. But there's still work to be done, and you're celebrating, right? So when you wrap up this season, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to work. It's a party, because all of this stuff that I got goosebumps again. All the stuff that you're learning, you get to celebrate. So healing is not about beating yourself up. Healing is about doing the work, taking the time to look back and be like, damn, look at the fuck I did. Like, you go off, Sharice. Look at you growing, and you got out of bed, and you eating. and you out here giving to your clients.
Yes.
Yes, I'm moving through one of the hardest times in my life, but I brought myself back from the darkness with help. I'm always going to say this. I have beautiful mentors. I have beautiful grief counselor. I have a beautiful therapist, and I have a couple of mentors because I am strong enough to know that I can't do this shit by myself.
Right. And I believe that the Creator works through all those people.
All of them.
Through all of them. Like, if you waiting for God to, that's another conversation, to fall out of the sky. No, God works through people.
Through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we
so
can.
Allow him to work through you.
I gotta come back now. I feel like there need to be a part 2 installment.
There needs to be, but I'm gonna thank you because we're gonna get something to eat.
Yes, we are.
We feed our soul, we feed our bodies too. Yes, so we will get something to eat. But I like to thank you. I love you.
I love you more.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, it's awesome.
Yes.
And come back soon.
Oh, I am. Like, you want me to come back tomorrow? I'll come back tomorrow.
Don't even start. Hey.
People, you saw that? That was a dead serious look. That was.
I love it.